Que lo que mi gente? So you're thinking about buying the Nemo Tensor Insulated Pad. So let me give you the quick and dirty on specs, what I don't like, what I do like, and whether this is worth the money to me. So starting off with the specs, we have the long wide sleeping pad here. This is 21 ounces, it's 76 inches long, 25 inches wide, and it costs $190 for this one right here. Let me start off with what I don't like. I don't like this valve. I think this is this pad's weakest point for two reasons. The first is when you're inflating it with the inflation sac and you go to take the inflation sac off, oftentimes the one-way valve that's meant to keep all the air in just pops out with the inflation sac when you go to take it out, meaning all that work you just did to blow this thing up is all gone. There we go, filled. Oh, okay. Then what's even worse is when you go to adjust this, so there's, you know, the little cover for it, and then this is the one-way valve right here, and then this plugs into the pad. When you go to take this off while you're sleeping, so while you lay down, let's say you just want a little bit of air out by pressing this little thing to let some out, the stinking one-way valve pops out as well. So when you're all cozy, all bundled up inside of your sleeping bag, and you go to just take this off to make a slight adjustment, all the air comes out, because it's great at letting out air, but it just, you pop that out and then the whole pad sleeps. I can't tell you how many times I've done that while on this pad, and it is extremely frustrating. So that's hands down the worst part about this pad. Next, the second main thing I don't like is this is, right, as I said, this is the long wide version of this pad. Long Nemo. Every other company I've ever tested a sleeping pad on, the long goes up to 78 inches. Now I'm 6'6". Yes, I'm not your normal tall person. I'm a little bit taller than that, but 6'6" is 78 inches. This is 76 inches. Why does your long only go to 76 inches? I do not understand, Nemo. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It's only another 4 inches on top of your regular. So for me, that's the second biggest drawback for this pad, because I'm 6'6" and I have to maneuver around a little too much to get me to actually fit on this pad. So the last two things, they're not major drawbacks, but compared to other pads, I think the warmth could be a little bit better, and the weight could also be a little bit better. It could be slightly warmer, and it could be slightly lighter as well, but we'll see why in some of the pros here. I think it's okay. All right, that's everything I don't like. Let's start into what I do like. The first thing that I like is, as you can see, look at this packed size. And this was not difficult to get to. So the size, here I have a Yeti 36-ounce water bottle, same thing as the hydro flasks. They're the same size. They're the exact same size, except arguably the pad is actually shorter. So super small, but what I think most companies miss out on, that Nemo hit the nail on the head, is the ease of getting it to this size. So first off, you have this little pad, this little Velcro strap around here that keeps it the size that you wrap it up in, so that it's super easy to slide it into its stuff sack, which most times, most pads, once you get it to a small size, it's almost impossible to keep it that way, and then almost impossible to actually keep it that way while you slide it into the stuff sack, because then, you know, it all slides up on itself and then it's just this ugly mess. Whereas Nemo did a fantastic job of keeping it this size, but then also it's really easy to do this. All you do, there's 3 folds, you fold 2 folds, you fold twice, and it's super easy and it stays that way. Whereas other pads do a lot of slipping and sliding while you're trying to roll the pad up. This one does a fantastic job of staying the way that you folded it. And this is with the inflation sac as well, by the way. Staying the way that you folded it with the inflation sac in, not sliding around, and then you can secure it with this strap. Fantastic. That is so much easier, especially in the mornings when you're tired and cold and packing up. This does a great job of helping you pack up nice and easy. The next major pro, and I think this is maybe the best pro of this pad, is this thing right here. Where'd it go? Is this, the inflation sac. This is arguably, and in my opinion it is, the best inflation sac that comes with a sleeping pad that I've ever seen. So I think the Big Agnes inflation sac is better, but you have to pay another $30 on top of the pad to get the inflation sac. And then if you notice, this one packed down super small with the inflation sac in it. Whereas then the big Agnes, you know, they could come small, but then you have the inflation sac that you have to wrap around it and it changes the size. So this one not only packs down small, but it's the biggest pad and also the easiest to inflate as well. Yeah, let's just inflate it real quick. So it does a great job of connect it. So super easy to connect on. Just click on. Then this whole thing fills up. You just blow it about 6 inches away. Super easy to fill up, and it takes me 2.5 to 3 breaths to fill up the long wide of this pad. There we go. Okay, remember what I said about not liking? Let's see if it, there you go, right there, you see? It pops off. Pops off when you go to take the sack off. Damn it. There you go, as you saw. I think this is the best one. Now, what Big Agnes has on this is the location of where you connect the valve. So as you can see, it's on the back or on the side of the inflation sac as opposed to being on the bottom. Now, I'm not sure why Nemo didn't just put it on the bottom, because the Big Agnes one is on the bottom. It's easy, obviously you're pushing all the air going towards the bottom of the inflation sac. So why is the little valve just not at the bottom? That just makes the most sense to me. So that's the only knock on this, is it does a fantastic job of filling up quick, putting a lot of air into the pad, but the slight edge the Big Agnes has is on this one where the location of the valve is. The next and possibly most important pro for this pad is the comfort. You have a beautiful, nice, thick 3 inches of comfort. And I just slept on this last night, and I can tell you from very, very recent memory that this is a very, very comfortable pad. It's not just that it's thick, because there's another pad, the Big Agnes AXL, that is thick, but it's not as comfortable. So it's the way that the baffles are designed. It's also the feel of the material. It's hands down the best feeling material on a sleeping pad that I've experienced. So I sleep on a quilt and I sleep directly on the pad, and this makes such a difference. It's almost like a satiny material. It feels really high quality, and it feels super comfortable. It's not slippy, it's not too grippy either when you're sweaty. It's like the perfect blend of just comfort and the closest thing to sleeping on an actual bed that I've come to while in the backcountry. Now, another big pro of this pad is the sound. So, hold on. The sound of the Nemo versus the notorious Thermarest, which actually I think their most recent release of the Thermarest pad it's quieter, but you hear that? You just don't have that same crinkle. And my wife is super, super critical of noise, and she wakes up really easily. So whenever I sleep next to her or near her, or if I'm trying to test this out in the house with this thing, she hates it because she just wakes up all the time, and she knows exactly when I'm moving around and asks why I'm moving around in the middle of the night. So if you're by yourself, this pad has its pros and cons, but this pad is comfortable, super comfortable, but then it's also nice and quiet. It's thick. It's just comfort. The last thing then is the quality of the entire package delivered by Nemo. Everything from the inflation sac to the stuff sack to the actual feeling of the pad itself, everything just feels super quality, and I love it. It feels like you get what you're paying for. This is almost a $200 pad, so this is by no means cheap, but not once did I doubt whether I got my money's worth on this pad. Real quick, one last thing I forgot to mention on the overall build quality is the repair kit. So most companies just toss it inside of the stuff sack, but then you just lose it. Nemo actually has a pocket for the repair kit that just folds right into the pad so that it doesn't get lost. Nice touch, man. Nice touch, Nemo. Which then leads to the last point of this. Is this worth the money? 100% yes. Absolutely yes. Now, the slight cautions I'd give is this is not the warmest pad, it's not the lightest, and from just the feeling of it, it's not the most durable, so I wouldn't put this directly on sharp rocks or in the middle of the desert on sand where there could be pokey things. I wouldn't put that on there, but I'm not gonna put those as negatives because you just should take care of your pad. If you take care of this, this is absolutely 100% worth the money. 100% worth the money. There you have it, my review of the Nemo Tensor Insulated Pad. I hope it helped you make your decision on whether you should buy this pad or not. Now let me know if there's any other gear that you'd be curious in me reviewing, either that you've seen in my videos or you've seen around. Maybe I have it, who knows? All right, go outside, enjoy life, and have a great day.